Welcome to the Real Women, Real Business podcast with myself, your host, Shauna Lynn Simon. And this is a bonus episode because here's the deal. I had this fantastic story to share that I just couldn't wait for the next episode to drop. So I'm releasing a bonus episode. It's quick, it's to the point, and it shares what happened to me recently, how I got stressed out, and what I did to combat it. Because I know you're probably thinking I talk about stress management all the time, so I must not get stressed myself, but that's simply not true. I do get stressed. However, I'm going to show you how I put all the tools in my toolbox to use to help me to get out of that stressful moment as quickly as possible. So let's dive right into it, shall we? Okay, so listen, I talk all the time about stress management and about how you need to make this a part of your daily routine, a part of your daily habit, so that when you are stressed, you can actually call on all of those techniques and tips and resources that you have in order to overcome the stress quickly and efficiently. Because let's face it, if you're living in a state of anxiety and stress, you're likely not going to be getting much done. So I wanted to actually share a story about how this happened to me recently. So understand this, just because I practice stress management on a regular basis does not mean I don't get stressed. You cannot prevent stress. You can simply manage it better. So I found myself in a bit of a state of overwhelm. And again, this happens to me occasionally. What was going on? Well, frankly, it was just a multitude of things. And it felt like everything was coming at me at once and that everyone needed something from me. And it all seemed important and it all felt urgent. And quite frankly, it was just too much. There was no way it was humanly possible to do all the things that I felt I needed to do, that I should do, and that I wanted to do. And so I found myself in this stressful moment. And quite frankly, I wanted to just curl up in a ball. That's sort of our initial reaction of just like, can I just curl up in a ball and just wait for this to pass? But I knew, of course, that that was not going to get me anywhere. So what did I do? I first started by acknowledging it. I actually gave it a name and I said, you know what? I'm stressed. I didn't need to say it to anyone else. You can sometimes admitting it to someone else is what helps, but I just admitted it to myself. I said, okay, listen, you are stressed out right now. So then I take what I am dealing with and I acknowledge what it is that I can control and what I can't control. Okay, so first I need to acknowledge that I'm stressed and then identify also what is causing the stress. And then break that down into based on what's causing this stress, what do I have within my power to be able to control and what can't I control? So, for example, what can I control? I control my own to do list. I control the tasks and my responsibilities on a daily basis. What can I not control? I can't control what someone else is doing or what they're going to do or what they've already done. I definitely cannot control anything that has already happened. If it's happened, it's done, it's in the past. I can simply move forward from it. So that really helps to put things into perspective by getting that clarity of what it is that I can and I cannot control. So now for those items that I can control, I can now actually create a bit of a strategy for how am I going to tackle this. So first, what I did was I took a break. Okay. And this is one of the biggest things when you acknowledge that you're stressed, you need to acknowledge that you may not be in the right mindset to be able to properly approach things. So I needed a stress relief break. It was sort of a crappy day out, so I didn't really want to go for a walk. That is definitely one of my go to stress relievers. I thought about doing some yoga or Pilates, but honestly, my mind just wasn't in it. So for myself, what I chose to do was bake. I love to bake. Maybe you're someone who loves cooking. Maybe you're someone who just loves curling up with a nice book in front of the fireplace. Maybe you're someone who likes to escape into a TV show or a movie. Whatever that escape looks like for you, take it. Okay. You need that break. You need to hit reset. You cannot escape there and stay there, of course. You can't just like go away and stay in that state and just ignore the rest of the world and pretend that things aren't happening around you. But you do owe it to yourself to allow yourself the time to take that break, And that will allow your mind to process things in the background. And that's really, really important. So, like I said, for me, I decided to bake some muffins. And this allowed me to then return to my overwhelming to do list. And again, I've got a ton of time management tricks and techniques. And one of them is actually what I call the Task Triage Method, which has saved me countless times. I can't even begin to explain it. If you want to check it out, go to aboutShaunaLynn.com/time to get some details on that. But essentially, what I did was I took an objective view of my to-do list. And then I started slashing the heck out of it. I started removing tasks, delegating tasks, putting things on hold indefinitely, or simply postponing them. And I had to take a look at what it was that really demanded my attention now. What's really going to move the needle? And I've actually had some really important conversations with some people in my personal life that have made some real significant postponements in their life. And it has helped them to alleviate so much stress. I think we get this idea that when we get an idea to do something, it's got to be done right now. We're so excited about it. We don't want to lose the momentum. And I get that. But sometimes that causes us to impose unrealistic timelines on things that just need more time. So, one friend, for example, has postponed a significant move out of the area, and they were going to be doing it in the fall. They've now pushed it to the spring. Another friend was planning an engagement. I wouldn't say she was as far as planning a wedding, but planning an engagement with an anticipated wedding date of this year. And she's opted to push that to next year as well, because both looked at these things and said, is this a self-imposed timeline, or is there actually an urgency to this? What is affected by me moving this? So that's what I did with my to-do list. You can do this both personally and professionally. So I took a look at my to-do list. That's what was my stressor that day. So I took an objective look at it and identified what really needed my attention. And I made some difficult but necessary decisions to postpone things. Now, there's a lot more to this that I don't want to get into here, but just to give a little bit of context to this, the only way that you can make these decisions about what needs to get moved and what needs to get triaged off that to-do list, if you have a super clear understanding of what your goals and objectives are. So if you don't have that first step, it will make this decision-making part of it more difficult. Not impossible, but certainly more difficult. Now, I also talk about other stress management techniques all the time, like evoking your senses. And for me, sense of smell really affects my calm, as does both touch and taste. I find a scented candle and a hot cup of tea satisfies all of those for me. I don't need the sight part as much, but again, baking muffins definitely helped me to change my point of sight and allow myself to kind of get taken away from staring at the to-do list, so to speak, right? And so by evoking your senses, this helps you to tell your body that you're in the process of doing a bit of a reset. And what that does is if you can physiologically change how that stress is affecting your body. So what I mean by this is lower that heart rate, calm your breathing, and be able to really take a step back. It's going to allow your mind to feel more calm, to be able to attack the problem. If your mind thinks that you are under attack somehow because you've got this stressor at you and your blood pressure is up and your anxiety is up and you can't focus properly, that's your brain telling you that it is taking all of its energy to try to alleviate whatever is stressing you. And for all your body knows, there's a lion chasing you. Like, they don't know the difference. Your body doesn't know the difference between, a lion chasing you and just you're dealing with some anxiety in your personal professional life. So by allowing yourself to take these stress management techniques to calm your nerves a little bit, reset your mind, it will allow you to take a more objective look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what's going to really propel you forward and move you forward. And the biggest key to dealing with stress is you can't let it paralyze you. As tempting as it is, you do have to move forward. But that doesn't mean that you can't allow yourself a moment or a couple of moments. And you get to define how long that time is. but you can't stay there. You have to have a plan for moving forward at some point. But understand that sometimes it takes a break for you to be able to process that properly. If you are in a stressful moment, in the heat of that moment, it's unlikely that you are going to be making the best decisions for moving forward. Now, some people are fantastic at thinking quick on their feet and just moving forward. But if you are experiencing stress, it's not usually the best place to be making a decision from. You need to be more objective than that. So take a step back. So, like I said, this was a way that I practiced this quite recently because, as I said, just because I practice stress management doesn't mean I don't get stressed. It means that I have the tools in my toolbox every single moment of every single day to be able to address stress when it does come to me and to be able to start moving forward on a clear path within a matter of hours after experiencing that moment of overwhelm is huge. Sometimes, depending on the stress, I can do that within minutes. Other times, it might take a few hours. And for some really big issues, it might take you a few days or even a few weeks, and that's all okay. But understand that you need to be actively working on your stress management and moving forward. I hope this has helped you out. Again, if you want to get some of my best time management tips, I've got a great guide on how I gain an extra 10 hours of productive time every single week. Go and check it out at aboutShaunaLynn.com/time. If you really liked this, please let me know. Please let me know if there's anything that I can support you with. I would love to help you on your journey, whether it's in your professional career and building you, helping you to get to that growth that you're looking to achieve, or if it's simply a matter of helping you to deal with the day-to-day stresses of your life. Let's talk. Check it out at aboutShaunaLynn.com/coach me. I'd love to set up a free call with you. Thank you so much for tuning into the Real Women, Real Business podcast. If what I spoke about here resonated with you, then please hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and be sure to tune in every Tuesday for new release episodes. And you know what? If you know someone in your life that might benefit from the message shared in this episode or other episodes, please share us with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, and help to spread the word and help women to combat everyday challenges as a female entrepreneur. I'm your host, Shauna Lynn Simon, and until next time, keep thriving.